What if I told you that there's a strategy that could completely shift America's financial future? Imagine individuals and families empowered to control their finances, eliminate debt, and create lasting wealth, leading to stronger communities and a thriving nation. Today, we're talking about infinite banking and why it just might be the key to saving America. I'm Shawn King, infinite banking practitioner and founder of Legacy Life in Retirement. And today, I want to dive into some would call it a bold idea. And that idea is how infinite banking could change the game, not just for individuals, but for America as a whole. We'll explore the challenges that our country is currently facing and why giving people control of their own money could be the solution that we need. The financial crisis in America. In my personal opinion, the system is broken. Debt is currently skyrocketing, and I think it's obvious that people feel trapped by financial stress. Let's discuss the rising consumer debt problem, because that's a huge problem here. So, according to the Federal Reserve, U.S. consumer debt exceeds $17.3 trillion in 2024. That's including mortgages, student loans, and credit card balances. Many households are struggling just to keep up with the rising interest rates, leaving room for little to essentially no savings. People can't save because their debt is crushing them right now. So let's touch on that lack of savings for a second. A 2023 Bankrate survey revealed that 57% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency expense with their savings, which I believe highlights the fragile state of our country's personal finance issues. Next up is financial illiteracy. Studies such as the 2022 TIAA Personal Finance Index show that only 50% of adults can answer basic financial literacy questions. This lack of knowledge really traps many people in cycles of just bad financial decisions. Believe me, guys, I get it. Most people didn't grow up being taught about money. So if you wanted to learn, you had to go out there and you had to learn about it for yourself. You had to find the books, you had to find the people, which is why I think we have a heavy focus on financial education here. So I know that I'm teaching you the things that you need to know to get your money working for you. I think the next problem is really that the system favors banks. You see, traditional banks profit immensely from consumer debt. They love it. For example, in 2023, U.S. banks earned over $180 billion in credit card interest and fees alone. That's insane. You should automatically be thinking to yourself, how can I get into the banking business and do what banks do? Because that's a lot of cash, my friends. Luckily for you, infinite banking really flips the script, allowing individuals to act as their own banks and recapture that wealth that you're constantly sending out to third parties. Here's an example. Imagine what could happen if millions of Americans stopped relying on banks and credit cards and started creating their own private banking system instead. It would take some time, and of course, it wouldn't work for everyone because this requires discipline, and we all know not everybody's disciplined, but for those millions of people that do have that discipline, they would be able to break free from debt and finally take control of their finances while simultaneously building wealth. Second point I want to make is infinite banking is the solution. Now, we've spent the last few minutes discussing the problem, but the problem stays a problem unless a solution is provided. So let's talk about solutions. Infinite banking empowers people to take control of their money and escape that daunting debt trap. How it works essentially is infinite banking uses a properly structured, a specifically designed whole life insurance policy that grows guaranteed cash value over time. This cash value grows tax deferred and can be borrowed against while still compounding. That's unlike any sort of traditional savings accounts or loans. You're in control the entire time with your infinite banking policy. We're talking about eliminating the middleman here. So instead of relying on banks and paying interest to them, you borrow from your policy at a competitive rate, usually around something like 5% simple interest. Effectively, you're recapturing a large portion of that interest you would otherwise have paid out, and you're keeping it within your financial ecosystem. So let's discuss the ripple effect that this has on everything. When individuals finally achieve financial independence, they contribute to stronger families, stronger communities. For example, businesses can be funded, debts can be eliminated, and families can pass down generational wealth, finally being able to leave that legacy. Here's a quick example. Let's say a family uses infinite banking to pay off $30,000 in high interest credit card debt. Instead of paying 20% interest to the bank, they borrow from their policy at a lower rate and they repay themselves. Not only does their policy continue to grow, but now they're recapturing all that interest that they would have sent out to that third-party banking institution, which doesn't benefit your family's overall goals in any way. That's the power of being your own banker. All right, number 3 is the bigger picture. Let's talk about saving America. Infinite banking isn't just about individuals, it's about rebuilding financial confidence across this country, which I would say right now, probably pretty low. If infinite banking were widely adopted, Americans could reduce reliance on banks, they could lower household debt levels, and they could increase financial education. This shift would create a stronger economy with more resilient individuals and families. All right, Shawn, so how do we do it? We use financial literacy as a catalyst. Studies show that financially literate populations tend to have higher saving rates and lower reliance on debts. So programs like infinite banking can serve as a practical tool for educating people about money management, and there are a ton of resources we can share with you to help you guys get educated. But Shawn, isn't a recession coming? And I'm going to say yes, quite possibly. But what I know is that infinite banking helps build economic resilience. You see, during recessions, families with access to liquid cash through policies are better equipped to weather those economic downturns. A financially stable population reduces strain on the government's resources and fosters economic growth. I'm going to give you a quick example. Imagine a nation where families use their policies to fund businesses, to pay for education without student loans. If you didn't know, you're going to die with those loans if you don't pay them off, or handle emergencies without going into any sort of debt. To me, that sounds like a future worth building. So let's go ahead and recap this whole thing. America's financial future doesn't have to feel hopeless. Infinite banking gives us the tools to break free from the system and begin to build real wealth, one family at a time. If you're ready to start your financial journey towards independence, let's go ahead and talk. Head down to the description, click the link, and book yourself a free cash consultation. I'll sit down with you personally and help you create a plan to take back control of your finances. If you got some value from this video, be sure to subscribe, go ahead and throw it a like, hit that bell so you get notified every time I put out some more information, and share this video with someone who believes we can do better for ourselves and for our country. You see, financial freedom starts with one step, and together, I believe we can rebuild our finances and our future. I'm Shawn King, and I'll catch you next time.